Hey folks, this is my first attempt at doing a live show, and I guess you're just gonna have to bear with me and we'll learn together about what it's like dealing with each other live, I suppose. Anyway, I wanted to start off today by talking about a certain obsession of mine. I suppose it makes sense that I'm obsessed because capitalism is my thing. I wouldn't be doing this every day if I wasn't obsessed. You know, I'll never forget the first time that I became obsessed with capitalism. I'd been raised around it. It was something I was always familiar with. But at the same time, like I said, it wasn't until I read Atlas Shrugged that the obsession really took root. I never realized that a book could affect me so much. I didn't want to be like one of those, people who, like a Dianetic Scientologist, be like, read this book. I'm not here to join a cult. But at the same time, I very happily and very voluntarily joined this cult of capitalism. Again, by reading Atlas Shrugged. For me, I read it back in '09. And I remember my whole reason for even going here and reading Atlas Shrugged was because Obama was in office. Or actually, his election was happening, and I knew that he wasn't going to be defeated. We all saw, he was going in without, any opposition. McCain had stopped campaigning sometime in October. So, there was nothing stopping this hope and change train from wrecking this country. And I couldn't just stand by idly and deal with it. So for me, a friend had introduced me to the book, and he's like begging me to read this book. And I swear it must be like way over 1,200 pages. And the writing is tiny. I couldn't believe just how small the writing was. And I'm a really slow reader. So for me personally, my best bet to consume this much of a novel would be to get the audio version. And I'll never forget what it was like. For me, listening to this novel, it just transformed the whole experience of reading it. I remember where I was when I heard Francisco's money speech. It was transformative. I never thought about money in that way. And yet at the same time, it gave me the impression that I kind of always did. She made a lot of things make sense. She being Ayn Rand, the author. And for me, just everything clicked. And I couldn't, it's funny when I first saw the book and I saw how thick it was very intimidating. But like I said, listening to it in audio, I started to slow down how often I was changing the CDs. In those days, back in 2009, we still had CDs. So I was using those. I borrowed it from the library. And like I said, it was something I'll never forget. And the funny part is that I hadn't painted for many years. And I remember at some point while I'm reading the book, she's describing the dollar sign. And she's saying that the dollar sign, as you could see right behind me, I'm glad I pointed in the right direction, basically said that, Ayn Rand said that the founding fathers, they believed so much in the ability for money to make people get along with each other. To create a stable society, we needed stable money. And so they put a lot of value in money, and we're the only country to use our monogram to represent our symbol for money. So, again, that's her interpretation. That's what she said the founding fathers believed, and who could go wrong with it? But I thought to myself, I hadn't really seen that symbol. Maybe we should have something like it. And I remember this is all happening at the same time that like pages were invented on Facebook. So I'll never forget, I joined a like page for something called smoked salmon. And I personally like the stuff. And I remember I go onto their page, and next thing I know, I'm getting in my feed a message about putting smoked salmon on a bagel. I happen to be Jewish, so I'm already familiar how that works. And so the bottom line is that I liked the page, and I thought to myself, is there a like page for capitalism? And, I looked around and it didn't look like we had much competition going on. So I set up the page, And I started to paint the symbol. And at first I just had the outline of the U over the S. And I taped it all out in blue and everything like that. And then I did the background, and I would each time putting the page up, I would change the symbol every time I had, progressed through the painting. So the bottom line is I finally got to the final look of the painting, and by then we already had like 2,500 followers. It was about a week and a half into running the page. All I would do is just post, quotes from Atlas Shrugged, things that really mattered to me, stuff that I was looking at, stuff that I was passionate about. And it all kind of went from there. And like I said, this has been an amazing journey for me, and I'm definitely looking forward to addressing you guys a whole lot more and bringing you into this world and sharing my perspective and really, the whole free market perspective with all of you. And I'm going to sign off now. Be well.
Do you want to answer some of their comments?
I'm being put on the spot. Well, could you read them off for me? Do you have any good ones?
Anthony Cisneros answers the question. He says, Oingo Boingo sang the praises of capitalism.
Yeah. And make no mistake, I really tried to reach out to them. I shot them a message because if anyone should, be cool with our page, it should totally be Oingo Boingo. You know what I mean? But, I'll keep my fingers crossed. If you guys know, how to link me up with him, that would be awesome. And, and obviously, I wanted to let you guys know that we have a video coming out very soon. And it's going to be the first Capitalism is Freedom Award. It's an award that I just started to bring attention to this foundation, the Capitalism is Freedom Foundation. I suppose it would have made sense for me to bring this up anyway. So I'm setting this foundation up because, I'm having a very hard time being able to connect with my audience. Even though we have 800,000 plus followers, every day I'm lucky if I get to reach maybe a couple thousand of you. And it's really frustrating. And like I said, I had to set this foundation so that we can get attention and really, in all honesty, maybe like a little bit of help, because like I said, we were able to publish. I was able to employ a lot of people when Zuckerberg let us reach our own fans. We had a website going, originally capitalismisfreedom.com. I had a lot of people. We had 5 people employed at one time, but as this pressure came down on us because we are so right wing, I lost a lot of our followers. No, we didn't lose followers, actually. We lost a lot of our reach. Again, we really, like I said, we've been attacked from day one. Like I said, when we had 15,000 followers, we lost a lot of fans. Not a lot of fans. We lost the page. Like I said, we've been shut down by Facebook so many times. But again, that was the first year of 15,000. Now we're up to 800,000. And it just seems to get less and less all the time. So like I said, we set up this so that we could promote capitalism outside. We have a lot of great ambitions that we want to do with it. And we want to tell you all about it in the upcoming weeks. And again, sorry for the, for my first time doing these videos. Like I said, I'm sure I'm going to look at this and laugh. But anyway, I'll take one more question.
Let's see what we got here.
What do we have?
Our friend, let's see, David Larson is saying that you became obsessed with it. He was born a capitalist pig.
What can I say? I'm pretty envious. Listen, I always felt it. I always believed it. What blew my mind about Austrian economics when I first got exposed to that, like I said, I started this page and then Facebook shut us down, and then they linked me up with the libertarian community. I was actually first connected with Austin Peterson as far as learning more about capitalism and the whole community.
What's Austin doing these days?
Yeah, I hear he's going to be running for Senate in Missouri, so we're all wishing him luck. But on that note, like I said, he taught me a lot about the background and the whole Austrian economics deal, and a lot of things I read, like Mises. I remember, I'll never forget reading The Last Night, and a lot of it really felt like stuff my own family had explained to me growing up. I'm very fortunate because I come from a family that ran a small business, or that still run a small business. So I had that kind of background to grow up with. It was something that, you know, business, you know, I remember being 7 years old and dusting and vacuuming around the office because, you know, you couldn't trust me with much more faculties to, you know, copy and collate a tax return. You know, we're dealing with an accounting firm, that being said. But we'll take one more question, and then I'll leave these people alone, these poor folks.
Our friends Charlie and Kurt are watching us too. Shout out to Charlie and Kurt. You know, you guys know who you are. Let's see. Well, Jared Hathaway said that he became obsessed about the same time he realized that hard work actually paid off, and that the slackers would always be complaining about how they never have enough.
Wow, that's pretty solid. We got a great community here, you know, I'm telling you. And I'm seeing a lot of great comments, and I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of great times together. I'm sorry we only have, like, 46 people up here right now. But like I said, this is what I'm dealing with Facebook. So, like I said, I have over 800,000 followers. And according to this ticker, we got 47 people if we're lucky. If I'm not being censored by Zuckerberg, I don't know what that is.
9:30 Wednesday night.
But I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to stay this way. That's the other reason why I'm addressing you guys now. I should have done it even sooner, but in all honesty, like I said, I didn't see being pushed into a corner like this. You know, I'm in a situation now where I've let pretty much everyone go, and whoever our team now is working voluntarily because we know that there's something bigger, something better to look forward to. So like I said, stay tuned for a video of our first event for the capitalismisfreedom.com, you know, .com or .org award. Again, we gave it to our friend Steve Forbes. It's going to be really exciting. We're going to hopefully have that out at the end of the week. So stay tuned for that and stay cool. Peace.